Welcome to a new video game news video, and I'm trying something different on the channel where I'll go through a few items of interest out there, talk about them and give my thoughts on them. If you enjoy this, please comment below and let me know what you think. First out of the trap is Metacritic are delaying customer reviews for 36 hours. Now this follows on from when The Last of Us Part 2 was released and so many idiots review bombed it, which basically means giving a game the lowest score possible on day one, making it look terrible. Personally, I loved a lot of things about it, but I had some issues with the storyline. I won't go into detail about those here, but as a game, it was a technical marvel, and I will certainly look forward to an eventual third game. However, the point stands that you can't assess how good or bad this game is without having spent many hours playing it. In fact, to complete the entire game takes at least 20 to 25 hours, so there's no way that as soon as that game's released, you can slam it. Of course, a lot of idiots are moaning that this stops people criticising games that needs criticising, and that it'll give game studios the upper hand. But no, it doesn't. If you're that bothered, start a review website of your own and review your own games. A Metacritic spokesperson told GameSpot, "We recently implemented the 36-hour waiting period for all user reviews in our game section to ensure our gamers have time to play these games before writing their reviews. This new waiting period for user reviews has been rolled out across Metacritic's game section and was based on data-driven research and with the input of critics and industry experts." Metacritic stated the decision was not directly linked to any particular game, but was a move in the fight to stop these review bombers from bringing down the game's overall user score as soon as it's released. In addition to the user review issues, online harassment and death threats were also targeted at The Last of Us Part 2's Laura Bailey and director Neil Druckmann. Fortunately, many came to their defence, and as Bailey put it, "I've always believed that good people far outweigh the bad. Thanks for reminding me of that today." In fact, a TV series has already been announced for The Last of Us. Not a great deal has been confirmed so far, but as well as Joel and Ellie being in this, Neil Druckmann confirmed that Riley, Ellie's girlfriend from the DLC prequel Left Behind, will be in this, along with Tess and Marlene, and Tommy's wife Maria. Presumably, Tommy will be in this as well. Neil also covered up a 4-letter name, which is expected to be Abby from The Last of Us Part 2. Now let's get on to a bit of retro gaming news, and homebrew video games are being created all the time, and one of the latest is John Davis's Road Trippin for the ZX Spectrum. I don't have a Speccy myself anymore, so I use the emulator Spectaculator, but there are a lot of other options out there, including Fuse. The synopsis is: you always wanted to escape on the road trip of a lifetime, a voyage of discovery in a snazzy bright yellow speedster, through many exotic locations, picking up souvenirs as mementos of your unique experience along the way, in and out of places like nobody's business. What you didn't reckon on was the unfriendly locals in their own speedsters. They're pretty angry that you can't wait to leave their beautiful towns and cities in such a hurry after grabbing what you can. Lord knows your road tripping days will be over if they catch up to you too often. But you're determined to see the whole trip through and return home with all your tacky spoils ASAP. There's 20 levels in all, 8 of which are unique, with repeated levels having additional hazards. And it features Stockport too! Yay! Back to something more modern, and Xbox are killing off the Xbox Live Gold annual subscriptions on the website. These were $60 in the US for 12 months. In the UK you could get a year's worth of Xbox Live Gold for around £40. I did this for the Xbox Game Pass Ultimate option last year. I added $1 and got 3 years worth of Ultimate for roughly £121, which is brilliant. The only options with US prices at the moment are $10 per month or $25 for 3 months, so 12 months will cost significantly more than $60 or £40. Question is, are Xbox going to ditch the gold subscription altogether? That's one theory that's being touted out there. One thing we do know is that Xbox game streaming service xCloud will be mixed in with the Xbox Game Pass this September and at no additional cost to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members. Yay! The idea with xCloud is that you play games in the cloud, so they run flawlessly on your PC browser, tablet, mobile phone, etc. Basically the same as Google Stadia, but while I can't see cloud gaming being something that happens regularly for a few years given the state of the internet, I do think Xbox have a better chance of making this work than Google. We've already seen Google drop projects that fail like a hot potato, such as Google Plus and Google Wave. So if you spend £50 buying a new game on Stadia, and then their service stops working overnight, your game is gone. In better news though, Xbox have confirmed that their Xbox Series X July event, which is on Thursday, July 23rd, will focus only on games. They had an event in May which went down like a lead balloon because there was not really a huge amount to shout about apart from some gameplay for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. And that's pronounced Valhalla, not Valhalla. However, the message for the stream is clear. Games. Microsoft says viewers can expect their first look at Halo Infinite's campaign during the event, as well as updates on already announced titles and brand new world premieres. And that's premieres, not premieres. Why? Who says premieres apart from people in America? Also, unlike the May stream, this latest showcase is centred on first-party titles, which will come to Xbox and PC. Now a bit of sports gaming news, and Madden NFL 21 is changing the name of the Washington Redskins to a generic Washington team. Earlier this week the team said they were retiring the Redskins name and logo and working out a new name, apparently following years of pressure to do so. However, it does seem to come in the light of people getting upset with statues which have stood for years and have led to mobs pulling them down and throwing them in the water, which isn't really the most clever thing to do. Madden NFL 21 is out on Xbox One, PS4 and PC on August 28th, but there will also be versions available for the Xbox Series X and PS5. In a statement to US Gamer, a spokesperson for Electronic Arts confirmed the change. We are pleased to see Washington's decision to change the team name and visual identity. We are quickly working to update Madden NFL 21 to feature a generic Washington team, while we await final word on the updated team name and logo design. The update will have to be downloaded via title updates that download automatically, and they're not just cosmetic. EA says the update will include audio and commentary updates, motion graphics and presentation, stadium art, environments, crowd gear and signage, and uniforms. The statement says players may continue to see some outdated Washington references in other areas of the game at launch, but EA says it's committed to removing all of those from the game in additional title updates after launch. The company also states that the game is in the final stages of preparation before shipping, so those who purchase a physical disc will need to connect online to see the Washington changes in-game. And finally, one more piece about The Last of Us Part 2, which does contain some spoilers. But before I get to those, I hope all those who have watched this video so far have enjoyed it, even if you have to bail out now. And if enough people watch and enjoy this, then I'll make more of these. So to you who are about to leave, I'll say thanks very much for watching. Please like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. Click on the little bell for all the notifications, and Genesis is going up in a bit. But for those of us still here, the last part of this video is about the original ending to The Last of Us Part 2, which was going to take Ellie down an even darker path. Creative director Neil Druckmann and narrative lead Hayley Gross spoke to Game Informer talking about the end of the game. Hayley said, "When I signed on, a lot of it was very similar. We did a lot of iterations on what the last act looked like. But the final beat was that Ellie would kill Abby. About halfway through production, we changed that and had Ellie let go at the last second to illustrate that some little part of the old Ellie, the Ellie with humanity, the Ellie that is impacted by Joel, still exists within this character who has been so overtaken by a quest for revenge." Other options included whether or not to let the brother and sister characters, Lev and Yara, live or die. In the end they decided Lev should survive, and that Ellie shouldn't kill Abby after all. Hayley Gross was shocked by the suggestion, as she didn't even know that changing the ending was an option. Now I mentioned in my roundup of this part of the game that Ellie doing that means that Abby could return in The Last of Us Part 3, but that's just going to annoy gamers when she had the perfect opportunity to finish her off in Part 2. Druckmann said, letting Abby live felt wrong thematically initially, but at the end of the day it felt more honest for the character. The theme and what we're trying to say shifted a little bit, but our top priority always is, are we being honest to the character? There are certain things we're trying to hit, but they can only work if we're consistent with the character we're writing. Okay, so that's the last bit of news for this video. Please comment below and let me know what you think. In the meantime, please like this video and share it with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already, and click on the little bell to get all the notifications, and cue Genesis.